You can't make love stories in a factory. It has to come from a place of feeling, which is why it comes once in a while. There are lots of action films that were going on in the 90s also.
Absolutely.
And then beech mein, there was one film that came which was a love story, Ek Duje Ke Liye. And then since it was so good, people gave their hearts. So this pattern has always been there. There's nothing to get worried about.
When Jigra happened, I remember that feeling till today that, I was going to be part of a Dharma film. I was going to be part of a film in which Alia was there. And all of these things were too big for me to really, and I was so new into this, also rather young, and I couldn't process things entirely. I don't even remember the transition to suddenly people were like, okay, but box office.
Yeah.
I mean, what is box office?
He's a film man.
Right,
He's not a
right.
music man, I feel, for me.
Right.
He's looking at the film. You see, every film of his, any stroke of music, you will know which film it is.
Correct.
It will not sound, Talka music will never sound like the music of, let's say, Rockstar.
Correct.
It will not.
Hello Imtiaz sir, hello Vedang. Welcome to Cinema Express. First of all, a really great looking trailer and the kind of music that's been coming up like with each week, the songs have been really getting a good response. For me, the one thing that stood out was like again, the place Punjab, the way you have been using it in your films, it has always had a very prominent place in your films. If you can start talking about that in terms of what takes you back to that landscape, what do you find interesting about that place, the fact that it keeps coming
This
back?
particular story is from the heart of Punjab.
Yeah.
This particular incident, the 1947 partition, is perhaps the most influential incident in the subcontinent of India ever. More than any other war, more than any other disaster or triumph, the partition of 1947 is the most brutal and at the same time the most influential. Societies in the whole country have been affected by it. People have gone from one to the other part. But when they have gone from one to the other side of the border, they have also carried their hopes, their memories, their love, their longing, and beautiful things. While going to Punjab, I've heard stories of love and tenderness from around the time of partition.
Yeah.
Since I've been to Punjab, thankfully, a few times, I have heard these stories so often that I thought that it is imminent. I make this film now. And this really, I feel that more than my film or his film, is a film that belongs to the people of Punjab and belong to the people of Bengal, who in their families have heard these stories, right? And we wanted that before the last standing generation of people that have seen partition pass away, this film comes out.
Right. You've also spoken about many times like there is a key visual as the starting point for each of your stories.
Yeah.
So for this, was there any particular visual that you had which was the starting point for, or was it just the idea of making a film for people of Punjab? Or was there any visual?
One of the key visuals was this guy on the train. And he is looking back at the land that he's leaving and he's kind of communicating to that land. And that is the...
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That came, you think that is one of the first few things that came to you?
Yeah. And sometimes when that key visual comes, it's not as though you have a definitive form to that visual, but you definitely have a feeling to that visual.
Right.
Somebody being taken away, but his heart is still there, and he's saying that I'll come back, or that sentiment of coming back, that.
Okay. Vedang, what was the brief from Imtiaz sir for you for this role? Because this is technically your second period film, but in a very different way completely. Yeah. So what was the brief for this role and about this narrative in general? What was the idea?
I think the brief started with what he felt the character was like. So obviously I knew that he's a Sikh boy from the 40s and most of this film is during 1947, the period before the partition, during and after. And so I had to be aware and conscious of that period, so that time. The influence that this character must have had culturally,
Right.
who would he be surrounded by, etc., and the way he would speak. So
Correct,
things like
correct.
the dialect,
Yeah.
and not just the dialect, but also the things that he would be inspired by, like the poets of the time, for example, and also how this boy is aspiring to be a poet, but also not very good at what he's doing.
Okay.
So he's more of an athlete himself,
Right.
but
Interesting.
he wants to be one of those intelligent people and come across very intellectual, but that's not the soul of who he is.
Right.
So things like that. It started with that.
Okay.
So I think it was a gradual progression of finding the character. Sometimes he would give me a new piece of information that would help me. It started like that, and then of course when you're on set and during the course of the filming, the process is entirely different. But yeah, he was very, I think what I remember is him being very particular about certain things about the character, and I think then the discovery happened. Like certain things, like he would speak before he thinks. He wouldn't process things so much. And I think he was also mindful of telling me this because he thinks I'm the other type of person.
Okay.
He thinks a lot before he speaks, and I do believe that I am that guy.
Right.
So it was an interesting, challenging experience, and also exciting. It was exciting to play a character who's far away from who I am as a person.
Right. And I'm assuming like there are no scenes with Nasir sir because there are two different timelines. But did you have any discussions with either Diljit or Nasir sir about your role? And because it is eventually the continuation of the same character, I'm assuming.
Correct. Yeah, which was an interesting thing for me. I've not played the younger version of a character in a film.
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't do any scenes together, and I think I got the opportunity to meet him a couple of times.
Okay.
Once was when Imtiaz sir actually invited me to his house. I remember being rather nervous about the fact that I'm playing the younger version of Nasir sir, of all people. And also just, I think I was always quite intimidated by him, because I've always seen him as this master class, and when I was auditioning and when I was trying to get into acting, during that phase I used to watch a lot of things that he would do, like teach at NSD, and I've seen those videos, and those were always in the back of my head. So when I saw him, I went to his house with a notebook and pen, which is a rather odd thing to do. And but I remember I did write one thing, and that one thing was he told me to read a book.
Okay.
I don't know how it came up in conversation, but I remember him telling me to read a book on acting, which I actually bought and I did read.
Okay.
So things like that, and so I mean, we I don't think we had a lot of time or opportunity to discuss about the character so much. I did come on set once because I thought maybe it would be interesting for me to see how Nasir sir is playing that character 78 years later.
Correct.
It's a really weird but interesting thing to watch, and I just wanted to watch Nasir sir, be on set. So I'd come to set one day on a day I was not shooting, just to observe. But yeah, that's it. And Diljit sir, obviously, again, there was a timeline thing. But I am his biggest fan. So I wanted to just come and just observe Nasir sir and Diljit sir doing their thing. And they also started shoot a bit before me, so I got that opportunity.
Alright. Imtiaz sir, in the last 20 years, like, you have technically redefined the way love stories were being told. Like, after like Yash Chopra and many other filmmakers, in the last 20 years, your films redefined the genre. But in the last couple of years, again, I think there has been a dearth of romances. Like, at least fewer filmmakers are attempting that genre. Sayyara is an exception maybe, and some others. Do you see this pattern, or do you think like it's the filmmaker's reservation, or do you think audience their taste of how love stories should be told? What has changed exactly, do you think, in the last?
I don't think anything has changed. I remember the 90s very well.
Okay.
And I remember the 2000s and so on and so forth. There's always been this thing that there is a spurt of a certain type of movies, and then comes along a love story. And if the love story is good, people really give their hearts to it. When Maine Pyar Kiya came, when Qayamat Se Qayamat came, I remember all this, right? So these movies were loved by the audience. Not because they were great stars. That time nobody knew Amir Khan or Salman Khan. But it was a love story. So I guess you can't make love stories in a factory. It has to come from a place of feeling, which is why it comes once in a while.
Right.
But when it comes and if it is good, people do love it. So there are lots of action films that were going on in the 90s also.
Absolutely.
And then beech mein, there was one film that came which was a love story, Ek Duje Ke Liye. And then since it was so good, people gave their hearts. So this pattern has always been there. There's nothing to get worried about.
Okay. Action genre has again come up in a big way, or a sense of films led by scale and spectacle and everything. In these times, do you think like when there's a place for aggression on big screen, like that testosterone-driven cinema? Do you think this is a thing to worry about when in any way, like in terms of, because there's lesser space for other genres on the big screen? Like
I don't think the audience is worried about what genre film they want to watch.
Okay.
I don't think that is their problem. I think they want to watch a film which is good and entertaining and worth their trip to the cinema hall.
Okay.
And people, whatever genre they might be working in, filmmakers should be only thinking about, is my film good? Can I make it better? Because the audience is not so particular that I want to see this and I don't want to see this. If we look at ourselves, like I can watch any kind of cinema if it is good. If Vedang comes and tells me that this film is very good and it's an action adventure, I'll go watch it. If he says, this is your favorite genre, let's say horror, but this film is not so good, I won't watch it.
Vedang, like your first two films, like some of the most talked about films in different ways. Like Archies had this whole like lot of newcomers, and it received a lot of response in both ways. Like it drew a lot of attraction. Same for Jigra. Like it was a really hyped film, and it did not really live up to the. How did you like? What was that phase like when the film's released? You see the response in a certain way on social media and on box office. How did you tackle with what the audience was saying about you and the films? Like, what was that phase like?
I think, for me, it's hard to explain, but to be in a film was already the biggest achievement in my entire life.
Yeah.
To watch my face pop up on the TV when the first, when Archies came out, it was already a win for me. And I didn't even realize how that time went by when Jigra happened. I remember that feeling till today that, I was going to be part of a Dharma film. I was going to be part of a film in which Alia was there, and all of these things were too big for me to really, and I was so new into this, also rather young, and I couldn't process things entirely. I don't even remember the transition to suddenly people were like, okay, but box office.
Yeah.
I mean, what is box office? I mean, it took me some time to understand, okay, there are these aspects to these things, and it's not just about trying to do your best and be part of a film. These kind of metrics also matter a lot to people.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I think the only thing that kind of feels bad is, I wish more people saw what we did for 1 year, 1.5 years, what we worked on for 1.5 years. But I am so grateful for both these opportunities. Because I really can't see it any other way. I would not be sitting here today if not for those opportunities. And I've also received a lot of love. That's what I've received a lot of love, and that also keeps me going. So there's always two sides to a coin, and I think I choose to, or I'm trying to look at it positively.
I also want to say something over here. I'd like to say that actually I'm very thankful to Zoya.
Right.
And to Vasan for having worked with him before.
Yeah.
So that by the time he came, I could see firstly no negative influences. Both of them are very good directors. So whatever you could receive from Zoya, whatever you could receive from Vasan is actually just like pre-marinating. Sorry to use that term, but you were in a very good condition like when I met you. I was very happy that no impurity has been added.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And they have done a lot of pre-work. I feel Zoya did a lot of pre-work which is going to stand all these actors in very, very good stead. Everybody that worked in Archies.
Right. That makes sense actually. Again, you said you were obviously an outsider, and it was quite overwhelming, which is completely understandable, that initial phase of being part of these films. But in these 3 to 4 years, was there anything, any notion about the industry or about the working of cinema that you had which like changed maybe with experience? Was there anything such? Any idea or any notion about the film working?
I didn't understand maybe the logistics of things as much. I mean, I keep saying that my first two films, and I would even say the third film, because there was no option of making a choice here. When it came to Imtiaz sir, this opportunity was already mammoth, and there was no question of whether I want to do this film or not. So I feel like somehow these three films chose me. I didn't feel like I had a choice to make. So now I understand, okay, there are choices, there are certain trajectories that actors look at, things like that there are, okay, now there is box office, there are other metrics, there are other variables of success. So I've understood these variables a bit more, I feel, or tried to understand. And notions, I actually didn't have a clue. When I came into this, I didn't know the function of how a set works, or how a director directs, or an actor, receives information. So all of these things, of course, they've been a learning, and I feel like I've been a student, which I will continue to be. But of course, this 3-year experience has really, I really feel like I've grown, which I think in my head is already a success.
Okay. Imtiaz sir, you spoke about the responsibility of a filmmaker. Like you mentioned that you are very conscious about not showing smoking, your cat is smoking in films, and you're particular about one or two things like that maybe. Do you think that is a very important quality for a filmmaker, to be very conscious of the kind of influence it is having, or do you think, because there's a lot of discourse right now about certain films, how they could influence positively or negatively, do you think the audience is being a bit too critical of certain things, or filmmakers have to be conscious? What is your take on the influence?
I am of the opinion that I personally, for myself, feel responsible in certain ways, because I have been the viewer of cinema as a child and as a young man who got very influenced by cinema. So I feel that other people should not get influenced by my cinema in a way that I feel is wrong.
Right.
So therefore smoking. And unless absolutely necessary, I don't show smoking.
Right.
And other things also. Many other things which are not so obvious, but more ethical, more moral, more relationship or respect oriented. I think I keep that in mind. I don't want to vitiate or hurt anybody either. But it depends on a particular filmmaker. My sensibility will be different from yours. When you make a film, then you will have the responsibility of not showing things that you think are negative.
Right.
So I think every filmmaker has a certain responsibility, and to my knowledge, everyone is aware of it.
Right.
They don't vitiate that.
Again, in last few years, the socio-political climate has changed a little bit in terms of how you're portraying religion maybe, or relationships between different countries. Ikkis came a few months ago. It had a very reaction in terms of, it had both reactions. Like some people saw it like we shouldn't portray the neighborhood country Pakistan in a certain light. This film again, I'm assuming, deals with the relationship between people of two countries.
See, this film is based in undivided India.
Right.
It's not based in Pakistan.
Right.
There is no concept of whether, so it's like that.
Okay, but audience,
It's
the way
not
audience,
the same debate. What I mean?
Okay,
You understand?
okay, yeah. Vedang, for you, so you said you become a bit more aware of the kind of choices you can make. So what is the goal forward? What is the way forward do you see in terms of what is the kind of films or roles do you want to choose?
Roles that excite me. I think it will only happen when I read a script or hear a story, and that really, what I've understood actually is the feeling I get. Maybe the feeling I get after the narration, or that the butterflies in your stomach when you hear something that you really want to do. I think it's just that I don't think I will be the actor who chases a genre, or tries to have some sort of trajectory that now is the time to do action. I don't think I see things like that.
Okay.
but I definitely want to explore. I think I have fun doing that, doing something different from what I did before.
Okay.
I think that part would excite me.
Right.
So I guess those will be the choices that I make when they come by.
Okay. And as an actor, like when you're not on set, so when you're not preparing for a role, what other things do you think are necessary for an actor to to be up for the craft, or to be learning, or to be evolving as a performer? What else do you think is necessary?
For me, I enjoy watching a lot of movies, and not just Hindi movies or Indian movies, but movies from around the world. I feel like you consume some sort of cinema, and not just as a learning, but you get inspired in different ways. Even just as an audience or a viewer, you get inspired watching something that you enjoyed or you liked. So I guess, I don't know if this is necessary or not, but this is something that I feel like, inspires me. And then honestly, living life, I mean, life is the greatest teacher. Just, I realized that just from my experience of life in these past 3-4 years, how much I've grown on set. That's what I feel, and I feel like that's the journey of an actor anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
Sir, this is your 5th film with Rahman sir, I think, after the journey began in Rockstar. You mentioned about whenever there is a conflict, you just surrender to him. You mentioned that thing. So has that thing been going, or is there how has your journey or creative association with Rahman sir evolved over this 20 years?
So
almost?
if I surrender, he is always in surrender too. He is very unlike what you expect him to be. He never says, I'm right, do this. Never at all. He's always in that mode. And so then I feel that we trust each other. Of course we trust each other. I trust him even more than I think he trusts me. Not sure actually, maybe. But the point is that, we discover new things then. It's not as though mine or yours. We discover new things. It's never, all the songs are his. Every piece of composition is his. Every idea is his. But he tries to bring me in. Because I feel that he's a film man.
Right,
he's not a music man, I feel, for me.
Right.
He's looking at the film. You see, every film of his, any stroke of music, you will know which film it is.
Correct.
It will not sound, Talka music will never sound like the music of, let's say, Rockstar.
Correct.
It will not.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty of him. So he understands that innately, and he takes it from the people that he works with. He takes it from the story, he takes it from the director.
Right.
So yeah, I'm in surrender mode, he's always in surrender mode.
Really great talking to you, and always nice to see a film from you, because there is a certain new trend coming up, things are changing, but I think a film from you once in a while keeps that that thing alive in filmmakers who grew up in 2000s. So
Thank you.
Really looking forward to the film, and Vedang, really looking forward to your work as well, because really loved your work in Archies especially. So best of luck for
Thank
Main
you.
Vaapas Aaunga. Thank you.